Aleisha opened her lips slightly upon hearing Franz's request. It was something she didn't expect. She announced to him early on that she would take revenge on him. She said she would not forgive him, and would make him suffer as much misery as she had suffered. Franz accepted this misery with humility. He told her to use it until she finished her revenge on others. Aleisha agreed to his proposal. And I actually moved accordingly. Franz was a helpful tool, faithfully responding to her requests all the time. With his help, most of her revenge is complete. The only thing left to do is take revenge on him. That was the exact route. Aleisha and Franz knew this. Why make such a request now? Elysia looked at him in confusion, unable to deal with her turbulent feelings. Why would you make such a request? Why? Because I have to make this request. His gentle and cold voice tickled Elysia's ears. Because only this way you'll kill me. Franz turned her hand over. Then he looked with cold eyes at the exposed scar on her wrist. Elysia lowered her eyes, following his gaze. Her eyes widened when she saw his thumb caressing the scar. It was the scar that had formed when she had neutralized him previously. The scar had healed somewhat, but a red line was still there. Leave me. Elysia tried to quickly withdraw her hand. But Franz did not leave her. He held her hand tightly and asked, Why did you neuter? Because the Empress forced me. If I had asked for it, would you have refused? Okay, Elysia stopped, about to answer Franz. Her eyes trembled, unable to hide her confusion. Of course she would say she wouldn't do it. Because that was part of her original revenge plan. But, strangely, the words didn't come out. Because she clearly remembered the image of Franz suffering from the pain of mana. Her shoulders trembled as she remembered his pale face, writhing in pain. Elysia shuddered and opened her lips with difficulty. Liz. Franz grabbed her shoulders. He hugged her and spoke quietly. No need to answer. Franz's voice calmed down as he calmed Elysia down. His throat moved up and down. I know even if you don't say. Franz spoke, caressing her shoulders to calm her trembling. His gentle voice, which could make her cry, pierced her heart. In the end, you can't be cruel to me. Elysia closed her mouth tightly. She couldn't say anything. He was right. She couldn't be completely cruel to him. Despite her determination to take revenge, she hesitated many times. She always had to pull herself together. But even that often dissolved. Whenever Franz smiled sweetly, and looked at her with eyes full of emotion, Elysia could not bear her desire to melt his ice with her fire. That desire was getting stronger, making her suffer. She was pretending that wasn't the case. Franz knew all about her. He knows that she is suffering and in pain, and that she is shaken because of him. When Aleisha's breathing became even, Franz grabbed her shoulders. He released her from his embrace and looked at her. Elysia's eyes widened as she met his gaze. His golden eyes were trembling with sadness. She felt pain in her heart as she looked at him. When her expression hardened, Franz smiled. But that smile was so strange. It was sadder than any expression she had ever seen before. Although he wasn't crying, he looked like he was crying. Even when I committed an unforgivable sin against you, even when we lost our child, you couldn't hate me, right? You were suffering because you couldn't completely hate me. Elysia's heart sank at Franz's warm voice. She tried hard not to cry. Liz, I know you better than you think. Franz took her hand and kissed the scar. His soft lips touched her wrist and then pulled away, and his voice was full of longing. Because I love you. So, I can know. Elysia's eyes twitched at Franz's confession. In her previous life, she desperately tried to know everything about him and remember him. Because she loved him. Because that was the only way she could love him on her own. Elysia was following his gaze, attaching meaning to it, trying to understand its meaning. But now, he was saying he was doing it. Do you love me? Elysia's eyes filled with tears as she looked at Franz. In her previous life, she was the one who stood in that place. And now, in this life, he was the one standing there. In that painful place where one gives meaning to every movement and look of the person one loves. As I watched the hatred in your eyes gradually fade away, I thought a lot. Franz extended his hand to Elysia's eyes. He wiped her flowing tears and spoke gently. I wanted to be forgiven, I wanted you to forgive me, I thought rude thoughts. Why do you say I shouldn't forgive you? If you want forgiveness, you can just ask for it. Because I have no right to ask for forgiveness. Franz smiled sadly as he looked at her. I didn't even know we had a baby. When you were going through the loss of our baby, I wasn't there for you. That, Elysia swallowed. Her mouth went completely dry. That's because I didn't tell you I was pregnant. I didn't contact you, so it's normal for you to not know. Look, you're taking my side again. It shouldn't be like this. Franz shook his head gently as he spoke. He released his hands from her shoulders and put his hand in his pants pocket. Then he gave her what he took out of his pocket. Elysia's face hardened when she saw what was placed in her hand. It's what you were looking for. Aleisha gasped. It was a bright, clear amber red. Franz's mana stone. Franz took her hand to make her hold the amber. Then speak gently. It's easy, Liz. You've done it before, haven't you? Do the same thing you did with the mana Crichton stone. Franz continued, gently caressing her hand. I have transferred the second prince's palace treasury funds to your personal account for you to use freely. All you have to do is eliminate me, forget everything, and leave freely. He added that he asked her round to ensure her safety if something bad happened to her. It was complete attention and care for her. Elysia's throat burned as she listened to Franz's explanation. Why you? Why do you make me do something so hard to the end? If you had clung to me and asked me for forgiveness, I would have kissed you with my eyes closed as if I had to. But why do you make such a harsh request that I not forgive you? Why don't you even give me an excuse to forgive you? Elysia looked at Franz with cold eyes. Her eyes distorted with pain as she stared at him for a long time. I hate you, I know. I despise you. Yes. I love you. Even after you betrayed me, abandoned me, and trampled on me. I still love you. I couldn't bear it without your love. As if it were engraved in the fate of my soul. Even though I hate you, I love you. Liz? Transparent tears flowed from Elysia's eyes. She looked at him with bloodshot eyes and pursed her lips. Elysia moved her lips with difficulty. No other words came out. She knew what she wanted to say to him, but she couldn't articulate it. Elysia clutched her chest. The emotions accumulated in her chest were boiling. Franz, you are a coward. A new dissatisfaction arose. But what does that mean? Aleisha took a deep breath. She frowned in pain and lowered her head. The amber, which he forced her to hold, entered her vision. Elysia bit her lip as she looked at Mana Stone. Also cruel. Aleisha felt that Franz was very unfair. Why does he make her suffer to the end? Why would it make her unable to completely hate him or completely love him? Why does he set the end him without letting her determine it? No. I will determine our end. Aleisha calmed her breath a few times, then calmed her mind. She finally opened her mouth. I will not fulfill your request. Aleisha raised her head. She uttered the thoughts she had organized while waiting for him. I will not fulfill your request. I will not forgive you either. What? Franz showed a confused expression at Aleisha's conclusion. Don't punish him or forgive him? How will you do? Thus. Elysia finished speaking and took Franz's hand with the hand that wore the ring. When she gave power to her hand, the red diamond sparkled with a crimson light. Liz, does this mean you made this a mana stone? Franz's face paled at the sight of the gem that shone the color of Alicia's mana. She smiled at him while he was terrified. I will neutralize Manak, then leave immediately. Our bad relationship ends here. Intense neutralizing light surrounded Franz. Alicia's smile gradually faded in the increasing red light. Her face was filled with pain as she neutralized a large amount of mana in one go. Hello. Red blood leaked from Elysia's mouth. As bright red blood trickled down her chin, Franz hugged her in horror. At that moment, a blue light emanating from his body filled the room.